Hello and welcome back to Alternative Programming, the show where we take topics, then we talk about them. I'm your host, Jackuwarz. Gameplay in the background is the last of my Mario Kart 8 Deluxe footage of races I did with the Gaming Master guys back from 2018. This is part 2, I believe, of the summer races of that year. John has his perspectives of these races with the live commentary up on his channel. That's going to be in the description below. And last time we derailed a little bit from a retrospect. I instead went over my thoughts on the Nintendo Direct from the 17th of February. Thought they're alright. Definitely some things Nintendo could have instead have, but you know, we got what we got in that Direct. For me, it's an opportunity to save money. But I'm not here to talk about the Nintendo Direct again. This part, we're going to be finally doing the retrospect on Pokemon, yeah. Now there's quite a lot of games in here, so I'm trying to do my best here to fly through all of them and not drag this video out to maybe 30 minutes. But likely, we might use up all of those minutes. So I got about 27 minutes of footage, and I'll fall back to the battle mode gameplay, you know, the rest of that, if I need to. Likely going to have to go to those gameplays, but here we go. We're going to start off with the first game that, to my recollection, that I started out playing that involved Pokemon. I think it was in 2003 also. It was Pokemon Stadium for the Nintendo 64. I didn't really think too much about Pokemon Stadium. I didn't care too much about the battling itself. I instead cared more about its mini-games. You could play with 4 players. And I felt like the Pokemon I was using in the battle modes didn't have very good moves. I felt like the Pokemon moves that I was using weren't doing any damage. Well, they weren't doing any damage because they were buff moves or debuff moves. They weren't actually attacking. They were lowering stats and all that good jazz. But I had my New Jersey errand friend. He also had this game, and I felt like his version of the game was better, just because I thought that over there on his cartridge he had Pokemon that actually attacked, and mine didn't. But no, that was what I thought back then. To be honest, I don't know what happened to my Pokemon Stadium cartridge after that. It felt like I only owned the game for about maybe a month or two, and then it just vanished. I don't know where it went, whether it be when my friends took it for his own. Was it New Jersey Aaron? I'm not quite sure. Or some other weird reasons. Maybe it got lost while we were moving from New Jersey to California. That also could have been a possibility. But yeah, in short, didn't have that much time with Pokemon Stadium. Didn't leave that much of an impression on me, even with me losing the game. Of course, I did have a lot of Pokemon exposure in Super Smash Bros. Certainly Jamie did. She grew a big attachment to Pikachu. She has a couple Pikachu plushes in her room and are still there to this day. Jamie, I think Pikachu became her favorite character, next to Kirby also. Of course, mine were Mario and maybe Kirby. Definitely Mario. In my infancy, playing Super Smash Bros. So, not much to go there in Smash Bros. I also mentioned the game in some other previous retrospectives. The next big game I would get is Pokemon Snap. We got this game the same day I tried to get my parents to buy me Mario Kart 64 instead of Super Mario 64. So we did leave that game store that day with a cartridge, just not Mario Kart 64. It was instead Pokemon Snap. And I guess I had no choice but to play it and try it out. That was my only new game to play for that week. So I tried it out. There was a pre-existing save file, of course. I don't think I've ever owned a N64 game that didn't have one. And so I tried it out. I thought it was alright, didn't think too much about it. I want to say it wouldn't take until somewhere towards the end of the 2000s, maybe in 2007 or 8, where I finally gave the game a thorough run-through. And gotta say, I really enjoyed the game. It was also one of those few games where I had no choice but to look up a walkthrough on how to do everything, because some of the things in that game are quite convoluted in what you have to do, or you have to throw an apple and an electrode in the tunnels, and so on, or you have to get enough points with the pictures you take. A lot of stuff that I mentioned in my playthrough of the game later on in 2011. Although, there's one thing I do want to mention about that playthrough. I want to say it's the episode right before the finale where we go to the clouds to take pictures of Mew. I think somewhere towards the end of that video, I forgot to edit out a section where I was I was skipping through the tunnels. So definitely a mishap there. Maybe I was just in a big rush and I was taking a break and thought, oh, I think the video's done. I think I got all the edits done, but no, that wasn't the case. And then when annotations were still on YouTube, I put in the annotations. Okay, my bad. I forgot to edit out this part. Just skip to this part in the video, and it'll be okay. But you're not gonna see that now because YouTube took out the annotations. So that's pretty much it for Pokemon Snap. A very short game, might I add. And that was only my second ever Pokemon game that I would play on the Nintendo 64, but it wasn't my first mainline RPG Pokemon game that I would play. We would have to go to the year 2010 for that. And I would play Pokemon Diamond. Not on the Nintendo DS, actually. Well, the game is released there, but on the Desmu emulator. Yeah, that's how I first played Pokemon Diamond. I believe my first starter, the starter that I chose at that time, it might have been Chimchar, but thinking more about it, it might have been Piplup. And I decided to nickname my Piplup Sardine, which my North Carolina friend, Aaron, he thought it was the dumbest name ever. He wasn't a huge fans of my nicknames or usernames that I came up with. Or if there's something dumb that I came up with, he definitely took advantage of that and called me out for it. But yeah, as for my first run through of Pokemon in the Sinnoh region of Diamond, I didn't get too far in the game. I only got through most of the game with just that Piplup. I didn't bother getting any team members, or really thought to get any more team members, because I thought Piplup was just trucking everything in sight. I want to say maybe after the third or fourth gym, that was when I finally did try to get a second team member. I think I had a Kadabra, and I felt like at that point, without grinding, it was too late for me to rank up that Kadabra, so there was that. And then I want to say after the fourth, maybe halfway through the game, after the fourth gym, where I got lost, I wasn't paying attention to the dialogue, so I didn't know where to go next, and I was in that big loop where once you have access to all the areas, and just like that I got stuck, and then okay, this is my stopping point. I'll try it again another day, or with a different game later on that we'll mention. So wasn't able to complete Pokemon Diamond my first time run through. We would have to go to the next year in 2011, where I would not only complete the game for the first Pokemon RPG game for the first time, but own one legally and officially. Pokemon Black for the Nintendo DS. Now, to date, this is my favorite ever RPG Pokemon game, and it's one game that I would feel more than welcome to replay the game. Gen 5, I think, is the best generation of Pokemon, in my humble opinion. But, so the game came out in March 2011, came out much sooner in Japan, I think the September right before 2010. And when the game came out in America, we did get a Victini code, the Liberty Pass, which gave us access to Liberty Island, where you can catch Victini. Now the thing with this pass is, doesn't give you get the Victini, of course, and you can transfer and all that good stuff. I would later transfer this to my Pokemon Omega Ruby cartridge, which I'll mention more. But I think I might have played. Okay, so I got all that. I might have played Pokemon Black at least 5 times, and every time I would have my friend, or I would have North Carolina Aaron's cartridge, and I would just trade all my story Pokemon from there, and whatever items that I wanted to keep also, like Master Balls, Max Revives, some very valuable items that are finite with every save file, over to his cartridge while I delete my save progress on my Pokemon Black cartridge so I can play the game again. And of course, he'll give me my Pokemon back over to my cartridge. Yeah, that was how I was able to get multiple run-throughs. It was great. Another thing too, I also wanted to collect all the Pokemon. Thing with Pokemon Black, there's quite a big pool of Pokemon that are not available in Pokemon Black, especially if you don't have Pokemon White, because in Pokemon White, there's the White Forest, which you have access to once you defeat the champion, and you just beat the main story. So you go to the White Forest, and there's some Pokemon that you can catch, and they're not from the Unova region, they're from the previous regions. Plus, that's also how you collect outside the Unova region Pokemon, is if you have to beat the game first. It's just Unova Pokemon throughout the main story. I thought it was interesting, kind of threw back to Pokemon Red and Blue days. So that was a big thing too. I really wanted to try the White Forest, but problem was Aaron, another another friend too. We all had the black version. I guess just because Reshiram looked cooler, and maybe some other areas were better too, like Opelucid City. That was in the future. It was a futuristic setting, whereas in Pokemon White, it's a medieval setting. That could have been why. But yeah, I guess to wrap my section of Pokemon Black up, Black was an amazing game, and I can't wait to. I do have a save file set up to complete as of right now. I could definitely get back to it if I have the time to get around to it, but a lot of backlog games to get to as well. Okay, so moving on along here, 2012 and 13, that was around the time where I was playing Pokemon Heart Gold. I went back and played that. Did I play this game officially? No. I had this, so my friend, the same friend that I traded my DSi, my black DSi, for his launch date Cyan 3DS, that was how I was able to play Pokemon Heart Gold. Is he had an R4 cartridge, we had the ROM installed on this thing, and we were able to play Pokemon Heart Gold as if it was an official game cartridge. Now the thing with but except there's a few things. The thing with playing Pokemon Heart Gold fake is that I think the AIs have more luck in their favor over yours, so there's a lot of critical hits going against you, and some other random things that will mess you up as well. The game corner is also it doesn't work in that game, because if you enter the game corner in a pirated version of Heart Gold and Soul Silver, and this is just, I think I might speak for everybody, may not, but the game soft locks if you try to enter the game corner on a fake cartridge. So that wasn't fun. And also, I think I may have had the game crashed on me at least once, but it wasn't often that the game would crash. You know, when it was fake, that was definitely a thing that also happened. And so with all that, and just the way that the game is structured, I had a very miserable time playing Pokemon Heart Gold, because not only that, you know, I was dealing with all the stuff you deal with the pirated version of Heart Gold, but there's just some really dumb ways to not be allowed to go in an area earlier. Or there are times where I felt like, okay, it's time to go to the next area, but then rather than, you know, some other games that have better, more reasonable ways to stop you from going to an area too soon, but there's these NPCs. They'll just they have the little exclamation mark above their head, seeing that you're trying to go there, and then they just get in front of you, and then it looks like they're just shoving you right out the way. Like, no, you cannot go there. And I gotta say, that was something that really, really annoyed me about Pokemon Heart Gold. That was insane. Like, I wanted to, man, it made me wish that there was things in the game that were coded, so that way, I don't know, you can show your displeasure against these NPCs that are stopping you from going somewhere. It was nuts. Fortunately, there's, like I mentioned briefly, there's moments where it's much more reasonable to be blocking that. We didn't have our NPCs in the way to stop you. It was instead like construction cones or just giving you more recognizable, realizable ways of blocking. Like say, oh, this place is in construction. Whereas in Heart Gold, it's this guy's trying to, like, he won't let you buy unless you get if you buy a Rage candy bar, something stupid that was in no way a reason to blockade an area and not give you access to that sooner. It was insane. And so I think it would have. I'll play Heart Gold again in 2016, where I would have a bunch of rental games, and it was one of them. Thing with the rental cartridge from GameFly there. That Heart Gold cartridge was also fake, so I had the same exact problems with that there as I did with the R4 experience. Both of these run-throughs, might I add, I also never finished them. I never finished the run-throughs to either of these games. I don't recall ever beating Red. Maybe the second time I did. Oh yeah, definitely I did. First time I didn't beat Red because my Pokemon were nowhere near high enough level to do so. Nor did I want to use any cheese techniques, something that would help me beat Red when I'm under leveled like that. So that was no fun. But now that I have a authentic copy of Pokemon Soul Silver, I could definitely have a much better experience with the Sinnoh remix now than what I did with my first two run-throughs. Okay, so I think the next biggest game, I say right next to second to Pokemon Black in 2014, around the same time when Super Smash Bros. For Wii U was coming out. We got Pokemon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. I got Omega Ruby, and this would be a game that Todd, Pure Heart 1777, he got me the game. He did it for me. It was a very nice thing of him to do so. Now, honestly, he thought that's by me not having the game, I would be missing out. Kind of like with Smash 3DS, but that wasn't really the case. I wasn't really thinking about playing Omega Ruby. I was more thinking about Smash Wii U. But regardless, he got me the game. I chose Torchic as my starter. I liked the Delta episode. A lot of retweaked things too. I really enjoyed my time with Pokemon Omega Ruby. Plus, it was very friendly to complete the national decks. There are a lot of attainable Pokemon in Omega Ruby. Only a handful of Pokemon that you can't get in Omega Ruby, and I just relied on my Pokemon Black save file. Pokemon Black, I gotta think that would be a very useful copy to have if you're trying to get all the Pokemon in the national decks, because you know, for Pokemon, there's a lot of them. But maybe you can do the same thing if you have Pokemon White or one of the sequel games too. But that was that. Pokemon Ruby I really enjoyed. Unfortunately, my original save file of Omega Ruby is gone because I thought maybe I could trick the system and because Jamie wanted to play the game too, and to do this I would get a second SD card, put that in my 3DS, and maybe I thought I would get a second save file, but that didn't work. And we'll begin the second save file and just get a second copy of the game on the SD card, which I think that's what Nintendo systems were thinking by me getting a second copy of Pokemon Mega Ruby on another SD card. Like that was their failsafe. And then as a result of all this, my original save file, it got deemed unplayable anymore, or unplayable. And so, in that save file, I lost a lot of my Pokemon. Most of my main story Pokemon Black teams were gone, including my Victini that I got from the Liberty Pass. That was also gone. So I was very disappointed there. But fortunately, I would be able to get most of those back just by replaying Pokemon Black again after that, and then just filling them up there again. I wouldn't get another Victini until 2016, where they're rolling out the 20th anniversary mystery Pokemon event, where every month they're giving out a mythical Pokemon, Victini included. So, in that way, I did get a Victini. So amazing. So Pokemon Omega Ruby, I want to say it's my go-to Pokemon game to rank up certain Pokemon and to get shinies as well, the pseudo method, because the battle resort is very useful for doing that. It's very easy to, and there's also a daycare there too, and right next to it there's an area where you can ride your bike in a loop, which is amazing. It has everything there that you need to Masuda method, and O-Power as well. Alright, and then 2016, let's go over there now. That was my year where I decided to use GameFly. I think I had 2 months of the membership program, and so games I rented through this was Pokemon White, just to use the White Forest. Pokemon Heart Gold, that was my second run through the game, just to get more Pokemon there, so I can complete my national dex for Omega Ruby, and a bit for Pokemon Black as well. I also got Pokemon X, just so I can get Xerneas, which fortunately, when I booted up the save file, there was one already there. Or actually, I think where the save file last left off, it was right before you get Xerneas. So I just got Xerneas with the Pokeball, with the team that was there too, and it was a piece of cake. And actually the same thing happened with Pokemon Moon, whereas the previous player of that cartridge, they beat the game, but they also left behind all the Pokemon there, the entire team that was used to complete the game, and Lunala. So I just decided, alright, cool, I'll take this free Lunala, take all this Pokemon, put it on my Pokemon Sun cartridge. I gotta mention, I got Pokemon Sun in 2016, probably my favorite game that year. I didn't play too many games in 2016, but I felt like that was the one that stuck out late that year. So there you go. I want to say renting Pokemon games might be the best game of choice, just because you can go into these pre-existing save files and maybe find what got left behind from previous owners. Might feel a little scummy to just take the Pokemon and not leave any behind yourself, but what's the chance they're gonna do the same for you? But actually, there's this one time where right before I was gonna mail back the Pokemon White cartridge, I left a message. I left a Fearow there, so I left behind something myself. But looking back, I think maybe it would have been nice to leave behind more things, because it's tough to like lose if you don't bring all them Pokemon that you trained up all them hours for. And just to leave them behind there, that's a little disservice to yourself. Okay, so I think we're gonna fly through there. I didn't have Pokemon Sun on my notes, so I'll briefly touch on Pokemon Sun. I do like being able to customize your trainer, giving them different outfits, skin color too, all that good stuff. Even a different haircut too. That was also awesome. I felt like I would have better enjoyed the game if I was playing on a more up-to-date 3DS. I was still playing on the same 3DS that I traded my DSi Black Edition for from one of my North Carolina friends right before I moved out and moved to Nevada. So I was, and plus that 3DS was just on its way out. The circle pad was drifting. Some of the buttons were being jammed. It wasn't very fun. But besides that, I think I enjoyed Pokemon Sun. Just your run-of-the-mill 3DS Pokemon game. Thought the trials replacing the gyms were interesting enough. And how was that? Only my third mainline RPG Pokemon game that I would play at launch. And I thought it was alright. I didn't definitely played much better, like Pokemon Black and Omega Ruby, but it was a serviceable enough Pokemon game. So I already mentioned Pokemon Sun. I think earlier that year, because I got Sun in maybe late November. I also had Pokemon Platinum. I went to a GameStop, got it used, and Jugga Conroy, he was also Let's Playing Pokemon Platinum at that time that year, and I decided to just play the game along with Jugga Conroy. Also built the same exact team that he used for that Let's Play. So I had the Torterra, Clefable, so on. 2019, this would be a beginning of me mass buying Pokemon games, some of those including Pokemon White, Pokemon Black 2, and White 2. I decided to get all those games used at GameStop. I saw them sitting there in the glass case shelf of the used DS/3DS games, and I thought to myself, I gotta get this because I feel like these Pokemon games, they're not gonna be there forever. People are gonna buy them up, and you know, people aren't going to be trading in DS games. Plus, GameStop probably not be able to. They're not gonna take trade-ins for these older games too. They stopped taking in GameCube games, I want to say maybe a decade ago, and I thought the same thing with these older DS games. So yeah, I decided to buy up those 3 games. They're in my back catalog, mainly Black 2 and White 2. Kind of turned put the White cartridge into my 100% save file because I had some things on there that I can't change anymore, like you customize the C gear, where you can't do that anymore now because the website where you used to change that has been discontinued, along with the Wi-Fi connection back in 2014. So rather than delete the save file for Pokemon White, gotta keep that there, keep that intact. And just I decided to move all of my Pokemon from the Black cartridge all the way to the White cartridge, and just treat my Black cartridge as the save file that I used to run through Pokemon Black and White 1 multiple times. That was great. And then Black and White 2, I do need to get around to playing those eventually. They're in my back catalog with plenty of other games, like ones including Steam. 2020, this is where I go on my big Pokemon mass buying spree. Bigger than when I decided to collect the rest of the Gen 5 games. I would decide to get a bunch of Gen 3 games, including Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald, and Fire Red. The Ruby cartridge is with Jeremy. Decided to give that to him, since I really only needed Sapphire and Emerald. Emerald, I think I might have used that for... What did I use that for? Something. I don't know. Maybe I tried to get a shiny Beldum, but point is, maybe I wanted to get some things on there that you can't get with Ruby and Sapphire. Sapphire, I did my big run through that. You saw me get a shiny Wingull and Pokerus in the same day. That was insane. Pokemon Soul Silver, I got just so I can help get the National Dex on Pokemon Black. At that time, I already got the National Dex for Omega Ruby, but I decided I want to do the same for Unova. I also got a DS Lite and a Game Boy Advance SP, because without those systems I might have some trouble not being able to get everything. With the DS Lite, you need that if you want to transfer Gen 3 to Gen 4, because with the DS Lite you have the double cartridge slot for DS and GBA. That was needed. But there you go. Oh, and I was able to afford all this stuff because the stimulus checks from the pandemic had like $1,200, and that's how that's what I used my money on. I used it to go on a big buying spree. Got these games off of eBay. Alright, so this was definitely a big video, nearly half-hour long. If I rambled through this entire video, you listened through all that, then hey, appreciate that. Thank you for watching this entire video. Next time we're going to be, well, next in line for the retrospect is F-Zero, but I'm going to branch off and talk about something different, something besides retrospects. Like I'll branch it up. We have plenty of time to get through all of the franchises that I want to retrospect, but there's some other topics too that I want to mention as well. But till then, I've been Jackuwarz. Hope you enjoyed this video. I'll catch you next time. Take care.